Aloha, movie nerds, dorks, and weirdos, and television nerds, nerds, dorks, and weirdos. Welcome back to Why It's Great Television. I'm here to give you my first episode reaction to Pluribus. I'll try to be spoiler free as possible. Pluribus is a new Apple Plus TV show written and directed by Vince Gilligan. We all love and know his works from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and he also worked on X-Files for a long time. I really got a kick out of this. Rhea Seahorn plays the main character, who is an author who's traveling around at the beginning of the episode selling books and making appearances, reading to her fans, and autographing everything. This is a really good first episode, and I would compare this more to like the first act of a movie, because that's how it feels as it rolls out. Essentially, the show kicks off with astronomers, scientists discovering some form of code being transmitted either to Earth or near our solar system. It's an alien transmission of some kind. They figure out that this transmission is it's some sequence of data that once they crack the code, they'll sort of understand what the aliens are trying to send to them. What ends up happening is there's this science experiment with rats. One of the scientists gets bit, and it's kind of this creepy zombie situation. But it's not zombies that are like, I'm gonna bite you. It's more of like they're all happy and they seem helpful and they want to transmit their zombie virus through giving you a kiss on the lips, which is like, okay, a little invasive. Once this sort of alien element starts taking over Earth and we get into this kind of post-apocalyptic scenario, Rhea Seahorn, she's at the end of her book tour and she's just ready to call it a night. And all of a sudden, everyone around her just starts freezing and kind of having these seizures, and it's really scary, it's really creepy. What's interesting about watching this first episode is that, as a first watch, to me it feels like kind of an old movie, or like not an old movie, but like Independence Day or The Arrival, or like a really cinematic X-Files episode, because you have the buildup of the scientists and everything, and you also have the sort of slow unveiling of who Rhea Seahorn's character is. And it's a bit slow, but I have the patience, right? I have the patience to like, look, Better Call Saul got me, Breaking Bad got me. I was a fan of X-Files a little bit when I was a kid. It scared the crap out of me. But the way this episode is structured, it is like a classic movie where it's about 20 minutes of setup so you can kind of understand everything that's going on, and then at the 20-minute mark, like a movie, that's when everything happens, and then it's on. Rhea Seahorn is the only one in this entire bar, in this entire little auto mall. She's the only one not having a seizure, but of all these people, she only cares about her partner. She tries to rescue her partner and get her to a hospital. The phone won't work, and then it becomes this kind of hilarious hijinks of her trying to get her partner into a vehicle in order to get her to the hospital. And it's just because it just takes so much effort, but also that's what makes it feel like a movie. In a TV show, typically it would be some kind of easy scenario where she just gets her in a car and that's it. But the way that this sequence goes, it's like a movie where, to me, a real movie, you actually have a big set piece sequence that really establishes the madness of whatever the situation is. So that's what this sequence was. It's like, oh, look at that. There's something weird in the sky. Oh no, everyone is having a seizure right now. And oh no, now I'm a little bit drunk and I have to somehow get my friend safely into a vehicle and get her to the hospital because everyone's stuck and the phones aren't working. But the sequence takes so long for her to get her friend into a vehicle. To me, I found it hilarious. Like, this is kind of a joke. It's movie like. It's kind of like the anti War of the Worlds. In War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise very quickly gets a car that works, and gets his family into a huge action sequence where they're avoiding the aliens blowing up the town they live in. It's the anti version of that, where it's like, I need to get just one person into one vehicle and get that vehicle moving. And so that whole sequence is, I found myself laughing at the end of it because it just took so much effort, especially again when you realize, oh yeah, she's a little bit wasted right now. I'm like, this show kind of has a coy sense of humor going on. Then, when we get into the revelation of exactly what's going on, I don't want to spoil it if you have not seen the first episode yet, but it's creepy. I'll just say, if you like The Arrival, if you like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this show kind of has that feeling. It feels like a movie. That's why I keep saying movie, but also it reminds me of those movies. I really love Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, starring Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy. It's one of my absolute favorite movies. I had an opportunity to meet the director and shake his hand, but I totally chickened out. But I wanted to tell him like how much I love this movie. It's really one of my absolute favorite science fiction movies of all time, because it's a movie where aliens arrive on Earth as these little pods that they get you while you're sleeping. They duplicate you, absorb all your memories and all this stuff. And society changes like over the course of a few nights. Everyone gets replaced, and it's just this handful of people that are left trying not to become a body snatcher. And it's really an amazing film. It takes place in San Francisco, my hometown, where I was born and raised, and so it was a very familiar environment for me. But also, what makes the movie so great is that it inspires paranoia and disgust and the fear of other people and the fear of going around San Francisco, which it can happen to you just naturally walking around San Francisco, even in the good days. These days, I would not walk around downtown San Francisco, but definitely when I watched that movie, it just became one of my instant classic, instant favorite of mine. I deeply regret not meeting the director when I had an opportunity and shaking his hand, say, hey, dude, this is one of my favorites. This is an inspiration to me. But that, just to bring this back to Pluribus, that's what this show really felt like, at least in this first episode. I do not have Apple TV Plus, so for now, this is just a reaction to the first episode, which was available on Amazon Prime. So if you don't have Apple Plus TV, but you at least want to check out the first episode, see if you would check out this show, I would recommend checking that out. It's a really, really good first episode. I knew that all of the first 20 minutes where it's kind of slow didn't bother me none. I felt like I was watching a movie. I'm like, oh, this is going somewhere. I know it's going somewhere. I know how movies and TV works, and this is going somewhere. It's going to be okay. And you betcha, I was watching this with my roommate, and she was like, dude, is this going anywhere? And I'm like, hey, we know who made this, right? Just hang in there. And exactly at the 20-minute mark, which is where I was trained when I went to film school, like that's where you really want to get, into Act 2, where the big event happens that starts the whole movie. Right at the 21-minute mark is when everything goes haywire, and we get that great, hilarious sequence of a wasted Rhea Seahorn trying to rescue her friend or her lover. And then things get weird. Then we get into our sort of post-apocalyptic, what's going to happen. I just don't want to spoil it, because if how I described that sequence of kind of being scary, but at the same time kind of being funny, that's what I would say this show was surprisingly like that. I just didn't know what to expect. I'd seen maybe one ad, and I deliberately chose not to watch anything else, because all I needed to know was that Vince Gilligan and Rhea Seahorn were teaming up again, because I had been wanting a show after Better Call Saul. I was wanting something like make her the main character. She's so good in that show. I very rarely watched a show where the sort of the love interest, whether the main character is male or female. Very rarely have I watched a show or movie where afterward I was like, can I, well, now that this story's done, can I see more of this character? I would love to see what this character's up to. You know, that's literally only happened. I mean, I didn't need a Better Call Saul show from watching Breaking Bad. I actually started watching Better Call Saul first, since it's a prequel anyway. And it was only after the fourth season that then I was so hooked. I was like, okay, well, what's the deal with Breaking Bad? Because it seems like these worlds are about to start meeting in the middle. But, you know, I've never had that need, you know, so I'm so glad that they did team up for this. And at some point, when I'm making money again, I'm going to get Apple TV Plus, and I'll watch the whole season. And if you're liking these reviews, then I'll give you a review of the rest of the season. But I got to make some cheddar cheese first. So if you want to help me make that cheddar cheese, the best I can say for right now, please like and subscribe if you like this review. That's what I got to say, spoiler free. Go check out the Pluribus pilot, at least, because I don't know about the rest of the show yet. Check out the pilot. If you don't got Apple TV, remember it's on Amazon Prime. First episode's for free. And yeah, check it out. Vince Gilligan. But yeah, dude, you did good.